Hello everyone, this is TechBizmo, and welcome back once again to another video. In this video, everyone, I'm going to be taking a review of Linux Mint 19.1 Cinnamon. So let's go ahead and get started. So anyways, the first thing we are going to be taking a look at is the welcome screen, which, if you guys are not familiar, every Linux Mint distribution review video that I've made, I've started on the welcome screen. So we're going to go ahead and continue that. Something I'd like to let you guys note is that I am very sorry that this video did not come out earlier, and the reason why is because, it's Christmas time, and also I was working on that other video called 30 Ways to Break a Tablet, so if you have not seen that video, 30 Ways to Break a Tablet, then go ahead and view that in the link below. Well, anyways, we are going to be reviewing Linux Mint 19.1 in this video, so let's go ahead and get started with that. So, with the welcome screen, as you guys can see, it just says, "Welcome to Linux Mint. Welcome to your new operating system. This welcome screen will guide you through your first steps, show you how to find help, and where to get more information about Linux Mint. In the name of the development team and everyone involved in the project, we'd like to thank you for choosing Linux Mint. We hope you'll enjoy using it as much as we enjoy working on it. Have a great time and don't hesitate to send us your feedback." Alright, so that is a very nice, polite welcome screen by the Linux Mint development team. So yeah, there's just a little look at that. As you guys can see at the bottom right here, we have a little check mark. Basically, this box is ticked by the default. It just says show dialog at startup. We're going to leave that enabled because I actually like leaving my Linux Mint startup screen to I like it when my Linux Mint welcome screen shows up at startup. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and head over to the first steps screen, and here is basically just a couple of little programs that is included with your operating system, and it'll just show you some descriptions about the software and stuff. So yeah, that's enough look at that. Documentation is basically the same. It just shows you stuff like the release notes, the new features in the newest release, and documentation. Help, you've got stuff like your forms and IRC chat room, which I believe is, they use HexChat. Does HexChat come with this? Yes, HexChat does come with this by default. The next thing we'll go ahead and just take a look at is our bottom panel, which looks very, very nice. I'd like to note to you guys that they have removed the start menu name. It's now when you hover over it, it says menu. Okay, guys, sorry about that little cut ahead scene. But anyways, yeah, as you guys just saw, we were just, looking at the menu stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this panel. Yeah, right here we've got our menu, which I already looked at. We've got our show desktop screen, which basically, I'll give you guys an example. If you're in the terminal, you could click on that, and it's quick little shortcut to minimize all the tabs you have open. So yeah, by default we have Firefox web browser, terminal, files, and mine is OBS Studio because that's what I'm recording with. And by the way, guys, I'm sorry that I might sound a little bit weird, and the reason why is because there's a cold going on around in my family, so I just like to let you guys know that. That's why my voice sounds a little bit weird, and that's actually another reason why I didn't put out this video sooner, is because I sounded like I don't know, something weird. But anyways, over here we've got this probably won't show up on yours unless of course you're recording, which is OBS Studio. You've got your updates manager, so it says welcome to the update manager. You've got Bluetooth. This is optional if you have a Bluetooth chip in your computer. Right here, actually everyone's gonna have this. It shows your Wi-Fi connections, so I'll go ahead and click on that. Here you go. You have a little view of your Wi-Fi connections. And down here you've just got rescan for wireless networks, network settings, network connections, and right here's your Wi-Fi name. Right here you've got your audio and audio settings, and you've got launch in player sort of stuff. Stuff that's audio media. And with sound settings, I guess we can go ahead and look at this really quick. You've just got your little sound screen, which I don't really need to look at this right now anyways, because I'm going to be looking at that as soon as I go into the settings. So yeah. Next thing we have is our battery and charging stuff, which basically this will only show up if you either have a batteried mouse or keyboard, or just basically anything that's plugged into your computer that is battery powered, including, laptops. If you have a battery in your laptop, then that'll most likely show up. You can see mine says Ryan's bat 72%, 56%, and 58%. The one that says 58% is the actual percentage. I just included that for a little something. I was gonna see if you guys noticed that, but I guess I just told you anyway. So here's an example. This is the wireless mouse. You can see the battery. It says it's good, and you've got your brightness settings for screen brightness, and whoa, that's way too dark. You've got your backlight, your keyboard backlight brightness. Of course, if you do have a bright backlit keyboard, then that'll show up. We'll get the power settings a little bit later, so hopefully I'll be able to remember. Right here, we've got our calendar, which basically it's just a basic pop-up panel calendar, which, by the way, in my opinion, is extremely useful for my needs. So, yeah. Next thing, we'll go ahead and take a look at our menu, which basically this is still part of the panel, but still something nice to look at. Right here we've got basically, I guess I don't know what to refer these to as. Basically just apps that are included with your computer. So right here we've got Firefox web browser, we've got software manager, system settings, terminal files, and all your log out, shut down buttons and stuff. In this part of the panel, we have a search, which is very, very useful. So, say I wanted to search for Minecraft, then we have a search for Minecraft. Then we've got this little all applications thing where you can basically just scroll down and look at all your applications. Very, very self-explanatory. So, yeah. You guys can just read these if you guys would like to. Anyways, yeah, under all applications, we have stuff like accessories, graphics, internet, office, sound and video, universal access, administration, and preferences, and places. And you know what? I take that back. Do not go back and just search through all this, because I am going to show you guys all this stuff right now. So in accessories, you've got just some accessories. Very rocket science, am I right? In graphics, we have stuff like GNU Image Manipulation Program, aka GIMP, whatever you guys would like to call it. You've got Pix, which is, I believe it's something for viewing your images and stuff. And, oh, I just remembered we have a little description down here, as you guys may be able to see. Anyways, another thing we have in our graphics is Simple Scan, which basically scan documents, as you guys can see in the little description down there. In internet, you've got stuff like Firefox and HexChat, Thunderbird Mail, and Transmission, which, by the way, if you guys are curious, Transmission is kind of like uTorrent. Actually, it's exactly like uTorrent, except it's 1 billion times better. In Office, we have stuff like, your LibreOffice stuff and Calendar. The Calendar app is also very cool. We'll go ahead and look at that in a minute. Hopefully I remember to do that as well. In sound and video, we have stuff like Simple Screen Recorder. I don't think this comes with Linux Mint. I believe I installed this. OBS goes into there automatically when you install it. You got Rhythm Box, Media Player, and VLC Media Player, which I believe is also there by default. Universal Access, we've got Onboard, which Onboard is a on-screen keyboard for, your touch screen. So I'll go ahead and open that really quick to show you guys on board. How do I move this? I think, yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just show you guys. Here, let's enlarge the keyboard. So if I type on it, yep, I can just type Ryan and TechBizmo. You can see that says Ryan, TechBizmo, or TechIzzo, whatever. All right, we'll close that out for now. We'll go ahead and head back over to our administration, which was the one we left out. And here you've got stuff like, all your computer stuff, system monitor, terminal, time shift, updates, users and groups and that sort of stuff, driver manager, all the basics, very self-explanatory as well. In preferences, you also have just more settings stuff and, like Wi-Fi settings, notifications, panel, privacy, sound, but, we're going to be looking at these in the settings anyway, so, yeah. Places, we have our directories, so we have documents, music, pictures, videos, and downloads, which is also right here in our home directory. You can see all the clips that I've recorded so far, which we are going to put together at the end of this video, and, well, not at the end of this video, but during editing, and, compile them all together. And, yep, in our directory folder, we have home, desktop, documents, music, pictures, videos, downloads, file system, trash, which you can see all of my attempted recordings. Right here, this is my 128 gigabyte volume. This is my Windows 10 partition. Network, you've got, stuff like your Windows network. Alright, I think I looked at everything in the menu, so let's go ahead and head over to our settings. So in our settings, we've got our basic administration, hardware, preferences, and appearance settings, which in appearance we've got, all of your appearance settings, all of your personalization preferences and stuff. We've got effects, which we can change the effect style as well. Very, very, very nice. And you can customize the that stuff as well. I guess I can show you guys an example. So let's see, unmaximizing windows. We'll do minimizing windows. So we can change it from traditional to move. You guys can see. This is actually pretty cool. But we're going to disable that because I like the default. Even though the default is not laggy. This is actually not the recording, the OBS, Open Broadcaster, the OBS Studio's fault, guys. This that it's lagging so much. It's actually Linux Mint itself. So there is something to let you guys know. It's actually not Linux Mint's fault. It is simply Cinnamon's fault. So because the issue with Cinnamon is you typically have to have a really good graphics card for Cinnamon, and I do have a really good graphics card, but it's just not, able to handle the power that it requires. Either my theory is correct, or Cinnamon is just a really crappy desktop environment, which I do not use Cinnamon a lot anymore, because that's actually one of the main reasons it's just gotten really slow over the years. Alright, well, yeah, you got your themes as well, which I'm going to customize it how I like it, which is mint white dark, mint wise fine, and mint wide darker. You can see they actually added some more themes, and this looks really, really nice, except I prefer the Linux Mint panel like that. That looks a lot nicer in my opinion. You still got that click sound, whatever it's called. Alright, we'll head back over to the settings, and in preferences, I'm not going to take a huge look at all of these. Like, I'm not going to look at all of these, of course. I'm just going to read, some of these. So, in accessibility, you can change the keyboard settings, and, you can change the size of stuff. If you're an old guy that needs glasses, and your glasses aren't good enough, then there you go. You can change the size of it. Right here, I've got account details, which I can change my password and name and that sort of stuff. Applets, that's also very self-explanatory. This is just stuff you can put on the desktop, I believe, and stuff you can put on the panel. Date and time, very self-explanatory. Desklets, or this might be what you can put on the desktop. The other one might be what you can put on the panel. Applets is what I'm talking about, what you can put on the panel. Okay, desktop, we have your desktop layout with monitors and stuff, and so desktop layout, by default, it's set on show desktop icons on primary monitor only, which it's actually very cool that you can change this. I don't know if this was in the Linux Mint 18.3 and 19, all those releases, but that might be, something new that they added. Extensions, that's also very self-explanatory, but I can give you guys an example. Example for an extension is Adobe Flash Player, which is dying, so I'm not going to even start with that. Okay, yep. A bunch of this stuff is really not stuff I really need to go over. Window tiling, I assume you guys know what that is. Online accounts, you can, link your online accounts. So if I want to, I could link my YouTube account. I think I actually showed my YouTube account email in one of my old videos, but I still don't want to do that. I can link my Microsoft account and Microsoft Exchange. There you go. You got your panel settings here, which I believe I always said I was going to look at. So you've got stuff like you can auto hide panel, which it's automatically set on always show panel, which I really like. You can change the panel height. Really like that you can change the panel height. I mean, a Linux distribution where you can't customize would be not a Linux distribution at all. It would be Windows in a nutshell. Right panel icon size. You can change the icon size. Ooh, that is really tiny. I guess 24 is fine for me. So, yep, that's enough of that. Here we've got preferred applications, so I believe, I can make my default web browser Firefox or Chromium or, that sort of stuff. My primary media thing is VLC Media Player. My primary media player, I guess I could say, is VLC Media Player. And source code, text editor, I actually like this, just the default text editor. Although, when I'm doing a little bit of web developing, which I don't do a lot of, I do very minor web developing with HTML. I always use Nano because it's very useful. I'm not a Vim guy like my old friend, but yeah, I'm not even going to bring up my old friend because sadly we're not friends anymore. Terminal, we can change to terminal. And sorry if you guys just heard, I might have bumped the microphone over there. I might have bumped the microphone there. Anyways, calculator, the default program is calculator. If you're in GNOME, it'll be called Calculator. I don't know why. And you've got your privacy settings, screensaver, startup applications, which startup applications is very, very useful, which I actually have support for NVIDIA Prime because I have an NVIDIA GPU in this computer. So, yeah. And Windows, this is, your Windows settings. You can change the layout and stuff. Window tiling, I believe tiling and snapping. Like, this is snapping right here, and tiling is some other stuff. So that was very helpful. Tiling is some other stuff. Okay, anyways, we've got our workspaces, which workspaces are used for workspaces. So yeah. Well, basically, if you guys do not know what a workspace is, which what the heck are you doing? How do you not know what a workspace is? But anyways, if you don't know what a workspace is, here, don't worry, I'm with you. A workspace is basically just basically an extra computer, an extra desktop, kind of. Yeah, that's an easier way to put it, an extra desktop. It's basically you could just throw Windows on a separate desktop, and it's just very useful. I guess we can look at the date and time right now. So, by default, it goes to the use 24-hour clock, which is very useful in my opinion. I prefer 24-hour than the classic 12-hour clock. Okay, I guess that's enough look at the preferences. We can go to general really quick, and in general, we just have stuff like desktop scaling, user interface scaling, that sort of stuff, and your compositor options. So, very cool. We'll go ahead and scurry down to our hardware stuff, which hardware we have Bluetooth, color display, graphics, tablet, keyboard, mouse and touchpad, system info, sounds, printers, power management, and network. And Bluetooth, basically, I'm sure all of you know what Bluetooth is, so I'm not even going to explain that. In display, you've got stuff like you can change your screen resolution. Very, very useful, especially for you people that are using Linux on a 4K or 2K display. Even a 1080p display, it's still, the scaling is horrible, so that's why I don't use Linux Mint as my main operating system on this computer. Currently, I use Windows 10 as my main operating system. So, I apologize for you Windows 10 haters out there. I actually do hate Windows 10 too, but, it's really useful, especially when I want to edit with my favorite editing software, which is Vegas Pro 16. Okay, so, yeah, we already looked at display. I never use graphics tablet because I don't have a graphics tablet, so, yeah. Keyboard, you just change your keyboard shortcuts and stuff, which is very useful, by the way, except I don't understand how I've never used keyboard shortcuts before other than Control-C, Control-V, and Control-A, whatever. Mouse and touchpad, you guys know what this is. You can change your touchpad settings. So this is my trackpad right now, and this is my mouse. You can do that. And mouse, you can also change your mouse sensitivity and stuff like that. And also you got stuff like network, which you guys can see right there. Power management, batteries, brightness, that sort of stuff. Printers, yeah, you've got your OfficeJet 6700. I'm assuming you guys might not have that one, that printer. You might have a different one. You might have a different one. Okay, in audio, well, sound, which is what Linux Mint likes to call it because it's a distribution for Linux starters. You've got your sound settings, so, again, rocket science. Right here, you've got your system info, which basically, if you guys do not know, in your system info, it shows you your system info. Did you guys know that? Oh my gosh. Wow. Anyways, in administration, we'll go ahead and go down to our administration. And if you guys see this really quick, it says that I only have one core, which is really annoying. So I need to run a couple updates and hopefully fix that. I believe if I go to the Synaptics package manager and update my system processor stuff, then that should help it. And, realize it is 2 cores and not 1 core. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, driver manager. Here you get your drivers. Okay, in administration, you have stuff like your driver manager, firewall, login window, software sources, and users and groups. So that is enough looking at the system settings. Yeah. Okay, guys, the next thing I would like to take a look at is our software managers. Let's go ahead and open up our software manager and see if anything has changed. I don't think anything has changed, though, because it's just mainly a bug fix release distribution. So, yeah. You've got your editors picks by default, and yeah, this looks exactly the same as the Linux Mint 19 software manager. So, nothing too much here. You've got stuff like graphics and all your categories, which is very useful, by the way. I really like being able to just select between my packages or my categories, not packages. I apologize. We'll go ahead and open up our terminal, and I'd like to note to you guys that they have changed something in the terminal. Now it actually shows when you type your password, so we'll show you guys an example. As you guys can see, it shows all the digits of my password. Woohoo! Alrighty guys, well that is pretty much it. But before I end this video, I would like to let you guys know that the code name for Linux Mint 19.1 is Tessa. And Tessa is a long-term support release of Linux Mint. So basically, if you guys do not know, this Linux distribution will be supported until 2023. So woohoo, you get to, stay on this distribution for quite a long time. I do not know what version of Ubuntu this is based on. I believe it's just the newest, the newest long-term support distribution, or yeah, the newest long-term support version of Ubuntu. But anyways, just any of you guys who know what the code name of that long-term support release is, then please be sure to let me know in the comments section below. So basically, what I mean by that is the code name for the Ubuntu long-term support release name. Well, anyways, guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys very, very much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out some of my other videos.